I'm Shari Edelson from the Arboretum at Penn State. I'm going to be talking with you about the use of prescribed fire as a land management tool in public gardens. So, why would you want to use fire to begin with? Well, it's actually one of the most highly effective ways of managing vegetation at a landscape scale. You can mow and you can spray, but prescribed fire is really the best way of suppressing the species you don't want while advantaging fire-adapted prairie species and plant communities you're managing toward. Also, it has the benefit of making for a really thrilling day at work. But as you might guess, or as you might know from experience, it isn't easy. First, legislation around controlled burns varies from state to state, as well as between counties and municipalities, making it hard to benchmark with other institutions. There's also the practical logistical challenge that at many public gardens, there's just bound to be a lot of stuff near the area you want to burn. And finally, there are the challenges posed by people. First, you have the challenge of communicating, both with folks inside and outside your organization. And you have the challenge of managing public safety and human presence on the day of the burn itself. So just to give you a sense of the challenges that can be posed by proximity to infrastructure, I'll show you our site at Penn State. Here you can see our 12-acre prairie restoration site, which we've been managing with prescribed fire for the past 8 years. It's within our larger arboretum and near our botanic gardens. To the south are 2 residential neighborhoods with a business district wedged between them. Penn State's main campus is just to the east, as are campus support operations. And then there's my favorite neighbor, the jet fuel combustion lab. Great type for a fire, right? Now, you might not have the same neighbors as we do, but I know you have challenges just like we do. The most critical thing I can tell you in mitigating these challenges is to start planning early. Get your operational partners on board way in advance, and for your first burn, give yourself at least a year or a year and a half to plan. Next, communicate. You don't want to surprise anyone with a fire, so my advice is to communicate until you feel like you've way overdone it, and then maybe you've done enough. And finally, if you want to use fire as a management tool, you're going to need to do it more than once. This means making sure you're keeping everyone on board and improving your game every time. Now, you can't plan for everything. You can host as many public programs as you want and get your press release out to everyone within 50 miles, and the student newspaper might still run an article like this. Some things are just beyond our control. Now, if you're planning for fire in a newly designed landscape, you may be able to address some of your challenges through the design itself. Consider the new garden's location with respect to overall site circulation. Can you burn there and still have visitors elsewhere? Where's the new garden with respect to prevailing winds? Can you use Can you use hardscape as a fire break? Even with the benefit of a new design, you may have to accept that fire isn't going to be a viable option. In designing our new pollinator and bird garden, we initially thought that this central meadow feature would be the perfect place to showcase the use of prescribed fire. It's right at the center of the new garden. Ultimately, we realized that the location would actually make it hard for us to control visitor access. Plus, it's located right next to our children's garden, which is our most popular spot. Ultimately, we decided the risks outweighed the benefits, at least for now. If you can incorporate prescribed fire into your operations, I think you'll see some amazing benefits. For one, as public gardens, we're in a unique position to leverage our activities as educational experiences. For example, students from one of Penn State's fire ecology classes help cut our burn line as one of their lab sessions. Plus, you get to introduce your visitors to the experience of seeing a landscape be transformed. From this, immediately post-burn, to this, just 3 months later. It's a powerful lesson in the resilience of plants. If you'd like to talk more about fire, or if you're interested in any of the planning resources we use here at Penn State, get in touch with me. I'd love to chat. Thanks.